Today we're going to make this advent craft that also doubles as a card.
For today's craft, you're going to need some glue, a black marker crayon or pencil crayon, a pencil, some scissors, a larger piece of black paper. You need a little bit of green, some white, yellow, a little bit of pink, and some purple. So go ahead, grab your supplies, and let's get started. The first thing we are going to do is grab your black piece of paper, and with that black piece of paper, we're going to start by putting it in front of you, long side left to right and short side top to bottom. So once you have it, long side left to right, short side top to bottom, you are going to fold bottom to top, just making sure the edges match. Now that you have it folded that way, it's long and skinny, you're going to fold left to right, open it up, and here you have a fold line. And you're going to use your scissors and cut on that line. So you're just cutting on that one fold line. And when you open it up, this is what it looks like. So there you go. You have that ready to roll. The next thing you're going to do is take your white piece of paper, and you are going to put the white piece of paper inside that black. Now mine fits really nicely. You might have to cut yours. Like, let's say yours was like this and it didn't fit properly. What we want is a little black border around the outside. So we want to cut a piece of paper so when we glue it in, there's a little black border around the outside. So let me show you this way. You can see mine's working out very nicely. So I have a border on this side, a border on this side, a little border on this side, but it's too long here. So I just want to mark off where I would want it to stop. And I want it to stop here. Now I'm not very good at drawing a very straight line, so all I'm going to do is actually use that little tick that I drew and fold it right there. Because I'm much better at folding in a straight line. So I folded my page, and now I'm going to cut that off. There I have my white piece of paper. Fits very nicely on the inside. I'm going to put some glue on there and glue it down right away. Now this is going to be the inside. So the inside is now for you to work on any way you want. What I'm going to do is finish the outside. So the outside of the card, what we're going to do is we're going to start with our green. We're going to fold our green piece of paper. Now, if your green piece of paper is bigger than this, that's okay. You don't need more than this, but just grab your page, fold it in half, fold it again. So we folded once, we folded twice, and I'm going to try to fold one more time, 3 times. Now that I've folded it 3 times, I'm going to grab my pencil. I'm going to put a dot at the top of my page. I'm going to take my pencil, and I am going to curve in and then out, curve in and then out further, and now I'm going to curve in and down. So almost as though this dot and this dot, I could draw a line. I'm not going to, but that's about what you want. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to curve a little bit in and then out, a little bit in and then out, a little bit in, and I should meet the bottom. Once I have that, I am going to cut it out. Now that I have it cut out, because I folded, I will have a whole bunch of those. We'll put those to the side. I am going to grab my yellow piece of paper, and I am going to fold once, and I'm going to fold twice. I'm going to fold one more time. I'm going to take my pencil, put a little dot at the top just like we did before, and this time I'm going to draw almost what looks like a big raindrop. So I'm coming down, I'm going to curve around, and then come back and meet that spot. So it looks like a big raindrop. Once I have that, I am going to cut that out. Now for our candles. So I'm going to have 3 purple, 1 pink, and 1 white candle. And I want them all to be the same size. So I'm actually going to start with my pink, and then I'll use that to trace the rest of them. I want my candle to be fairly small, and I want my flame to be able to go on top of it. So I'm going to use my flame as a guide. Now, if you made your flame really big, you're going to have probably a bigger candle. So just be careful because you want to make sure all your candles are going to fit on your page. If your flame is a little bit too small, you could always make a bigger flame, or you could just leave a little bit of space on each end. So I'll just show you here how we're going to leave, instead of having the flame cover the whole candle, you can see here, I have my flame, I have a little bit of a space and a little bit of a space. So I'm going to put a little mark there. And that's where I want my candle to be, down there. And then I want my candle to fit on my page. All I have to do is take it here. Now that I know how wide it is, I want to take it and make sure that down here is going to be all my greenery. So I'm going to have my greenery here. So I just want to say, how big do I want my candle? I think I like my candle to be about that big. And that means I'll have my greenery down here and my candle will sit up here and my flame will be there. Notice how I'm checking before I cut. So I'm happy with that. And I'm going to cut that out. So I'm just going to make my line. Now, if you have a hard time making your line straight, as sometimes I do, you can either fold that piece of paper like we talked about earlier, or you can use a ruler. If you're happy with it, go ahead and cut it out. And now use that to trace on top of your white piece of paper to make your white candle. And cut that out. And we want 3 purple candles. So to do that the quickest way, you can either fold your page or you can also do this. This is quite a speedy way. Just take your pink candle, trace once, move it over, trace right beside it, move it over, and trace right beside. And there I have 1, 2, 3. And we're going to cut those out. Now if something went wrong, don't worry. All you want to do is make sure you have 3 purple candles, 1 pink candle, and 1 white candle. So there I have my 3 purple, my pink, my white, my greenery, and I have my flames for the top. I am going to now start to glue everything down. When you're gluing, I would suggest placing everything first. So I just like to randomly layer over top so it looks nice and thick and full. And when I'm happy with the way it looks, then I will glue it down. That way, if you need to cut out more, you can always cut out more and you know exactly how it's going to go. So I think that looks great, but before I glue it down, I want to make sure that my candles fit, because if they don't, I can always trim them now. So I want a purple. Notice how I'm slipping them in underneath here. A pink, whoops. So it's purple, purple, then pink. I'm going to slip it underneath. It's good because I haven't glued anything down yet. Another purple and a white. Now see, I've run out of room here, so let's scooch everything over. Move it over. Make sure it all fits. And if you think, wait a minute, those don't really have a lot of space in between, you can trim them. So I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to trim mine. If yours fit, great. If yours don't, you can join me in trimming them. It's a wonderful thing about a craft. You just fix it as you go along. I think that should be better. Let's just try before we glue. There, do you see how when I place those, there's just a little bit of space in between each one, and I like the look of that better. Before you start gluing, you have to make sure that this opens properly. You don't want it to open the wrong way. You might want to start here just by gluing your candles, and then we can place that greenery back on and glue. So I'm going to glue one candle, leave a space. Remember, I'm going purple, purple, pink, purple, white. Go ahead, let's glue our candles down and see how they look. I think that looks great. Put our greenery back on, making sure everything's okay, and then go ahead and glue your greenery. When you're done your greenery, go ahead and glue your flames on. Now that I have everything glued down, I would grab a pencil if you're going to write on top of yours. And that way, if you make any mistakes, you can fix it after. Now, rather than use a pencil, I'm going to use a black marker just so that you can see. And you can use a pencil first, and then you can go over top of it in a darker marker crown or pencil crown if you would like. When we're writing out our candle names, what I always start with is hope, then peace, joy, love. This is the Christ candle. And then I write Advent because that's what we're talking about. So I'm going to do that, and you can join me. Go ahead. And there we have it. Advent, hope, peace, joy, love, and Christ. You have the inside. Here's a great space to talk about Advent. And if you're a school teacher, like I am, I would have my students write all they know about Advent inside, and it stands up.
Thanks for joining me on Craft Club for Kids. Remember, be creative and have fun.